you know. All right. Welcome. Today is Monday, January. Okay. June the 9th, and we are here again with Kerrin Kuntzman. If you will remember, she's the practitioner who brought us the harmonic egg, and she also has expertise in emotion code, body code, and belief code. But today she has brought her frequency infused jewelry. And we're so happy that she's here to show us exactly what that is. Take it
Thank
away,
you.
Karen.
I appreciate that. Yes, so I did bring my frequency infused jewelry. This is something that I wear every day. So I've got some pieces on and I brought some pieces to show you, but basically this is jewelry that I wear. Everything that I make, that I bring in, I have infused with the Schumann resonance frequency of 7.83. Now, some of you may not recognize what that is, but it's the grounding frequency of the earth, or one of them. And it's what we associated with feeling really grounded, feeling calm. Some people feel that it helps them to focus more. People that are very sensitive can feel this. Sometimes after putting a piece of jewelry on, I see this in the office because I do sell the jewelry through my office when I hold a session. Very often people will pick up a piece or two after they see what it does. But you can tell that some of them will feel like their head is a little swimmy for maybe 20 or 30 minutes afterwards because they're adapting to this influx of the frequency that they are not accustomed to. Now, the reason, if I can just tell you why I think this is so important, and if anybody out there is a practitioner of earthing, where you go and you put your barefoot feet on the ground, then you know why this jewelry can be so effective because we just don't get enough of the earth frequency into our bodies anymore.
Yeah, a lot of times we call it grounding, and
Yep,
and we advise clients go out in the grass, take your shoes off, just stand.
right,
So
right.
that's
And
what this does.
that's what this does. And you might think, well, then I'll just go out and I'll ground. But studies have shown that it takes about 20 minutes a day of that for us to get the frequencies we need.
Oh,
So sometimes one of the easier ways to do that is to buy a piece of jewelry like this. You can also do a grounding mat, of course. So there's multiple things, but I figure why not look good while we're getting our grounding, right?
that's right. And Matthew, looked at her website, and they have some really nice bracelets. Do you remember what that pattern is called? It
Cable box, are you thinking about?
maybe, but
There's
they are,
also I brought one, a brand new one, a man's. This is a black titanium bracelet that
I
men
love
like. Yeah, it's gorgeous and it's light. What's nice about this is that the standard stainless are a little heavier, which doesn't bother everybody. But in this case, this is titanium, so it's very lightweight, very durable, and it has magnets on the back. And these magnets are actually therapeutic. Not all of them are. You'll notice some pieces of jewelry, not so much. But this, if you put it next to something, is more likely to attract that. I say that as I'm doing it here, and I'm not finding it's doing it as much as I'd like. But here's another one, an example of this. If one were to go to the website, yeah, I think what I've got here is not. This is called the Biofield Boost bracelet. This one happens to be in yellow and white gold. So it is stainless steel that is plated on the edges with yellow gold. I don't know if you can see this.
now we can see it.
Sorry
that.
about
Yeah.
that. I'm holding it too low. And this is a favorite. Now I have this in three different colors. I have it white with gold, and the all silver. And the all silver is again the most popular. But this is very popular with clients that have issues like arthritis or maybe a ganglion cyst or something in the wrist, because then you can wear that on the hand where you've got the problem. I have a friend of mine who she is 85 this year, and she bought one of these bracelets. And when I went the other day, She always wears it on her right hand. And when I went the other day, she wasn't wearing it. And I thought she'd forgotten about the jewelry. And I said, "Hey, you're not wearing your bracelet." So she held up her other hand. She says, "Yeah, no, this hand feels good now. So now I'm wearing it on this hand." It's like, okay, you have a method to your madness. So I
Yes.
understood what she was doing there. Sewing friends have bought a lot of those as well.
Yeah. I have one. I got one. And I found out something today. It's a little heart that's kind of sideways on the chain. And I felt a difference, but I broke the chain. And Karen says, no, you have to wear the chain that comes with it. It also is embedded with the frequency.
Right.
I said, well, dang, I didn't know that. So that's good.
Yeah, and what I was explaining is that you have all this opportunity to make contact with your neck. And so if we, if we break the chain and maybe we can let the public know that it's not that easy to break the chain. You gave it a really good
Oh,
pull.
yeah, I had got it all tangled up in the back of my hair and I yanked it. I
Yeah,
yanked it very hard.
because that is not, generally a problem that I have on anything like this. So I want people to know. But in this particular case, like, you can see that I've got the chain all around. Now, if we were to take it off its original chain and replace it with another chain, now the only part that's embedded with frequency is this part here. Now, that's still going to make us stronger, but imagine that also combined with the chain.
Yeah,
You
I
have
did
more.
not know that.
Yeah.
So I was also going to tell you that it comes in this cute little box and kind of reminded that I love that color. I said, oh, it's from Tiffany's. And it's called Zen Wave. And then you take it out and you have this little pouch that it comes in. And so you
Yeah,
can take, if you want to store it, you can store it back in the pouch. That keeps it from getting scratched. And
absolutely. Yeah. And and the sterling jewelry comes in a little plastic bag, and there's actually a reason for that. So when you're not wearing your sterling jewelry, if you'll store it in that plastic bag, it will prevent it from being oxidized.
oh, that's good to know.
Now, a lot of our sterling jewelry is also rhodium plated, and that is put on there to prevent that oxidate. Okay, you're gonna have to say that for me.
Oxidation.
Oxidation, thank you. So it'll prevent that, and it'll be, pretty and shiny a lot longer. So rather than just, and that's an extra cost. So really, what I'm trying to do is really deliver the highest quality jewelry, the most beautiful quality jewelry at the most affordable price.
Well, I didn't think that it was not unreasonable.
Right.
It, I think this one is 69 or 68.
5.
Yeah. And and it comes with that nice chain where it sits right here at your throat at the bottom right here. And I really wasn't
Thank
going
you.
to take it off. And when I yanked and it broke, I thought, well, I got another chain somewhere. but but I
Uh,
do think I went to a conference thing with Deborah and her granddaughter, and I tripped on the curb, but I didn't go forward. I was able to go ahead and step up on the curb and not fall on my face.
and you were telling me that you have taken falls.
Yes, yes. I've taken falls by stepping on a little piece of wood about this big, and I stepped on it and I went face first into the parking lot.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
yeah, I have done it before and a lot. As there was another time I was getting pizza and over on my face in the parking lot. So, yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
I
So,
feel
Kerrin,
more stable.
you say about about having strength and so on and so forth. What are some other factors that your jewelry will handle? I mean, are we talking like for example, I have different health issues that I have, that are more immuno type things, et cetera, not necessarily just balance or whatever else like that. I'm a klutz anyway, but I mean, what other things? I mean,
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't make any health claims around the product for obvious
understood.
reasons. Yeah. Um, but if you were to read a website and on my website, which is zenwavecreations.com, there is a section under resources that talks about the many benefits of the Schumann resonance. So whatever we're getting from grounding is also going to help us through the jewelry. So some people, I've actually had a couple of young men that have reported a decrease in like stress levels and anxiety. One of the guys, which was kind of a surprise because he was a little reluctant to try it, his mom brought him a bracelet and he just had a simple silicone bracelet. I have those on the website. I don't have a picture of them. They're pretty much a black website that's, I think, what do they call this? Debossed with the logo. And so he's wearing one of those. And he told his mom one day, unbidden, she hadn't asked him any questions. He said, I'm never taking this off. So she didn't go into depth with him too much about what it is, but that is one of his issues. He suffers from just some feelings of anxiety and maybe depression. And it seemed that he found some benefits from it. He's a young man, he's in his 30s, so he's not as worried about the balance issues.
Yeah.
This more the realm of those of us that are, 50s, 60s and on. But obviously this holds benefits for younger people as well. I have a client of mine who does work with me with the body code and the belief code, and she's bought numerous things saying that she feels more physically balanced. She's not talking about, let me rephrase this. She feels more energetically. So she's young and she's strong, but she finds that it just brings a sense of balance to her body. And this is more of a mental state that I think she feels. Now, for me personally, I do a bunch of different things, so it's kind of hard to say what I'm feeling. For me personally, I'm using it more for the balance. I've also heard that it can actually be of benefit to our cells. I don't know. I'm not going to make that claim. I don't really know in what way, but I've been told there are some benefits. So I just frankly feel better when I'm wearing the jewelry. And so what I've kind of decided, of course, I own the jewelry store, so it makes a little difference there. But I've decided if I can wear pretty jewelry and get benefits from it, why would I just wear everyday costume jewelry or even fine jewelry that doesn't have the benefits? I have a lot of jewelry, and I have found since I have been doing this business that pretty much everything I wear is frequency infused. So the earrings that I have on are moissanite diamonds. So this is a lab created stone that is very, very similar to diamond in terms of its brilliance and its hardness, but it's ethically created and it's affordable. So, you might have a pair of half carat or carat diamond studs, but perhaps there's a place you don't want to wear them. I jokingly say when you're going to the beach or you're going out camping, you don't want to wear your, thousands and thousands upon dollars of jewelry, but you could wear like, here's another thing I'll show you. So for men in particular seem to be interested in these, but these are silicone rings. So this is fantastic for people who are working with their hands, electricians, people that should not have metal on them. So we've embedded these silicone rings with the frequency so they can get all the same benefits simply by wearing, a $29, ring.
A
So
lot of men that are policemen, firemen, I know my son wears it because it's very dangerous to be wearing that solid
right,
ring when you're
right.
working.
And this can easily be, torn away if one needs to, or cut off if one needs to. So this is very safe. But then if people want the pretty stuff, I have some fun and funky things. Like this has Nordic runes on them. So for our metaphysical people that are interested in things like Nordic runes, some with detailing, I have beautiful. This is koa wood with abalone, so a little bit of Hawaii there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one personally. And then I have more simple silver, tungsten, but a lot of these are tungsten. So really, really high quality rings that have a little heft to them for the men. Can I show you something that people have a great deal of fun with?
Yeah.
It's and these are quite popular. Let's see if I can show this here. So
Oh,
these
it is.
these are all mood rings.
Oh, I
And
love
they
that.
they are so much fun. Let me just show you here. Um, let's see if I can find one that will fit me. I think I've got them upside down in terms of sizing. So we've got one here that is a heart mood ring, and currently it's brown. Oops, it's already changing colors. See, the moment I touch it, it's already changing colors. And so as I put it on, it goes from brown to
Up,
blue.
go
Let me
up a little bit, Karen. There you go.
There you go. Okay.
I don't know if I can find one. I think the moment I touch them, they're going to change. Let me try it again. All right, this one's kind of multicolored. And then once I touch it, it's really responding to, it's a temperature sensing ring, but mood
Good.
does really indicate. The temperature also helps to indicate our mood. So this comes with a little card, just like back in the day when you had, these are the bands. I also have rings, where it's got like a stone in it.
Right.
But this has really been very popular. People just have fun. They're affordable. They're $49. So they're just kind of goofy and fun and meant to be playful. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum,
Here's her webpage. Can you see it?
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Very
that
nice.
So I lost it. I don't know where it went. But she has this little butterfly. Can you see that?
yeah, that's a cute one.
That's a cute one. And of course, thousands of others. The infinity on the ring. She has earrings. She has necklaces. I'm very interested in the bracelet. So
Which one?
I'm not sure yet.
Oh, there's a lot of really pretty ones.
I'm not sure yet. But I do
And that
like
one
it.
is a kind of a man's size.
Yeah.
Uh, it's really pretty cool, actually. I like that one. It's kind of a little boho looking, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I
So
like
I have a question for you, Karen, because I mean, I have a bracelet that I really love wearing, and actually, believe it or not, it has some mood stones on it as well. Do you have a process that you can take people's like own personal stuff and
I really don't.
bracelet it?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. I would then become responsible for the jewelry. And this last year, um, let's see, I lost one through UPS. I deposited it, and they said they never got it. And unfortunately, I put it right outside my office, right in the little collection. And one of the guys said they noticed that the next day the box was unlocked. So I lost $500 worth of jewelry through there. And then I had another $500 loss through the mail going to my person. And so I really don't want to be responsible for anybody's treasured piece of jewelry.
Sure,
Having
sure.
had,
I
Hmm?
get that, but I guess the question was more kind of a generic is like your process can be like done with like people's jewelry. So, for example, if I were to set up a one-on-one with you to hand you the piece of jewelry, you could do your process on it. And if I were to come back and be one-on-one, you could hand me that piece of jewelry back with
I
this
ship it
process.
to a lab. So unfortunately, there's still shipping involved.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay,
yeah,
understand.
sorry, unfortunately. Yeah, that does bring up something though, which is kind of cool about this, is that the process has been done by this particular group for quite a long time. And so that the frequencies that are embedded in this jewelry um, are designed to be permanent. So this will last and last and last. I had a client who said that they took a piece of jewelry and they went into Mexico and they had a psychic there who told them that their jewelry didn't have any frequencies. And I said, that is not accurate. I said that these are permanently infused. And so when we tested her, it was strong. And she said, oh, but the psychic said he put the frequencies back in.
that.
Well, of course he did, But the
Of
fact
course.
was they were never missing, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, You can sit in front of a computer all day long, be bombarded with EMFs, and everything still stays very strong with the jewelry. So it is a, a permanent, a permanent solution. With the one exception I will say is that you do have to be a little bit careful with the mood rings because that is uh, this is kind of like a plastic mixture here. So you don't want to use it around harsh cleaning chemicals. Now, I shower with it and I've never had a problem. These are designed to be affordable so that if after a year or 2 years of showering with it, you find there's a little issue, they're easily replaced. But you can also take this off in the shower if you like. The rest, I wear all of my jewelry in the shower. So because part of the reason it's going to keep you stable. So when you're standing on a slick surface, you're going to have a better chance of recovering your footing,
Gotcha.
if that
Well,
makes sense.
Matthew, I kind of look at it as we always tell our clients to practice grounding. So this jewelry would do anything that would be of benefit by just getting your feet in the grass.
Yeah.
But it's all the time you're wearing the jewelry, not
That's
just
right.
the 15 minutes you put your feet in the grass. So calming, relaxing, kind of, being able to concentrate on your uh, what's in front of you.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. And I can tell you that when I've done the body code and the belief code, actually the body code. So what sometimes will come up is a magnetic field deficiency. And when people wear this jewelry, that generally does not come up. It doesn't come up. But it used to come up for me chronically. And I had another client that was chronic. As soon as she bought a couple of pieces of jewelry, it never came up for her again. So
Well,
I'd be stunned if it did. But thus far, I haven't had anybody that's bought a piece of jewelry where that is showing up for them.
Okay, how long have you been doing this, and like, how did you get introduced to it? Was this your concept, or I mean,
No, I
how?
had bought some jewelry some years ago, and then the universe kind of connected me with someone who actually did the process. And what I wanted to do, which was different from the people that I bought jewelry from, and I love them, they're great, but they had jewelry, they had in my opinion, kind of a smaller selection of jewelry that in some cases looked more energy jewelry like. So they had a lot of stainless bracelets, but for people that didn't want them, they didn't have selection of sterling. And a lot of my clients wanted the finer jewelry. They wanted fine jewelry. I'm going to show you this. If I can just show, this gives you an example. This gives people, let's see if you can see this. Can you see these?
mm-hmm.
All right, so those are all moissanite diamonds. So this even gives people an option if they wanted something quite dressy and to either augment or buy instead of a traditional engagement ring. And we're talking about for less than $150. So these are the kind of things that really had not been offered. And then let's see, uh, let me just show you some of the bracelets so that you can see really that we're talking about fine jewelry here. I don't know how clearly you can see this,
Very
but
clear. I mean, those are beautiful.
they
Yeah,
are really,
I do like the fact that it's sterling silver. That's what I like to wear, and so you know,
let me show you this piece. I don't know if you can capture this, but
yes.
they're beautiful zircons that are studded in between. So it's just a light dance, a little bit of a light sparkle when you're wearing this. But I mean, these are really elegant pieces of jewelry. And like I said, what I was able to find more commonly were pieces like this, which I think they're fantastic. They're great, but that's not what everybody wants. And I wanted to do mood rings. So really, these were things I had to create myself because I just wanted the fun of mood rings, and they've been quite popular. Now, other people do produce the tungsten in the energy infused products, the tungsten men's rings, but I just was looking for a different range of jewelry, and that's what really set me out on this journey. So,
So,
and it's fun.
if I asked you to customize something for me, could you customize something for me? Yeah, but if I was looking for a specific design or something of that, could you do that?
So one has to kind of consider the time involved with that. So I have looked for people for specific pieces, and depending on how long it takes, but I have to usually, when I'm bringing in something specific, like one of my long-term clients for the harmonic egg, he wanted a male's Byzantine square necklace. And I had to search and I had to bring in five, and I sold him one. And I now have four necklaces. So that can be somewhat hard to do. I did that for him because he'd been with me for 5 years and he'd been coming every month for 5 years. So I was, well, whatever it takes, I'm going to find this for him. But the search process is time consuming as well. So I have to be somewhat limited. I'm going to be honest and say that we can talk about it, but in general, that is not really what I'm a one-man shop. So I do it all, and that can be hard. You really have to look at your time and what you have the time to do.
Yeah. The reason that I brought that up because I was talking to my girlfriend last night. I mean, she's getting ready for her wedding and everything else like that, and like she has like the picture in her mind what she wants the wedding bands to look like, and so on and so forth. And she's a little bit more metaphysically minded, and so like I was just kind of wondering, like, what about a wedding set? To me, like that kind of like just that extra special, thing for the couple. I thought when you said that, I was like, oh wow, that would
It's
be
pretty
so
cool.
neat.
And that's kind of what I've done with this. But if she's looking for real diamonds, that's again back to that whole risk, where I've got to send it off, and now I've got somebody's very expensive jewelry that now becomes my responsibility.
She's not that kind of way. I think that she would be like open to anything that you would present to her that's metaphysical. She's not into the whole, ooh, I have to have a 5 carat diamond.
Okay, yeah. Nor am I. If you look at these, what I focused on are about 1 carat and below, because for me, the big flashy, ultimately some of this is going to have my style. I try to be open to other people's style, but ultimately it's going to follow the lines of my own personal, style.
It's
Uh,
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Here's another thing that I haven't shown you, and these are fun. This is fun for metaphysical folks, right? So what I've done is I've infused the frequencies in all these different stone bracelets. So I have amethyst and aventurine and strawberry quartz, which I absolutely love, and it's kind of
Is that
pricey,
lapis?
surprisingly, huh?
Is that lapis, the blue right there?
I do not have lapis at this time. That's something I have to look at. This is apatite.
Apatite, okay.
And then I've got hematite for grounding, black tourmaline here, smoky
Mhm.
quartz. This is fun. This is a golden healer. So I personally will wear that at times. Sardonyx, rhodochrysolite, two different types of amethyst. One of them is, it's not chevron amethyst. They call it dream amethyst. Tiger's eye, lemon jade, red jasper, and clear quartz. And I may have here's another one, moss agate. So I've started with that number, and what I'm going to do soon on the website, I don't have this up yet, is I want to put pairing combinations so that you can understand, along with the metaphysical properties of the stone bracelets, when you pair three together, you're going to get the benefits of this, this, and this.
Mhm.
And I think that'll be fun for people. It's kind of like making your own cocktail, right?
So they not only get the frequencies, they get the advantages of the stone itself.
That's right. And I do have some other pieces where I have black tourmaline. I also have shungite. So again, you can get the benefits of the shungite, the black tourmaline, when we're looking for protection, and EMF protection as well. So I do have a couple of shungite pendants that people
Oh,
can have. If you give me 2 seconds, because I forgot to bring it over with me, but I want to show you something that is my latest creation. And
okay,
this
great.
is really cool. Give me just a sec.
So, Matthew, I did ask her, I said, what about putting different frequencies in? And she said that would be cost prohibitive because she said she has to send it to the company and they have to do each individual piece and then they send it back to her. So it would be, you know,
Well,
has trouble keeping up with the individual pieces,
I
much
do.
less the individual frequencies.
And
Yeah.
and what would happen is every time they do a special run, they have to kind of like break everything down and just do that run. So I would have to, be somewhat costly to say, okay, I just want this run with this frequency and this run with that. That's something I could certainly look at, but there would be a much, much higher cost. And again, I'm trying to make this affordable for the average individual. I know there's some folks out here who have, a tremendous amount of money and don't mind spending it. But I'm just trying to reach those of us that might not have that in our budget, that can still afford a piece of jewelry, and savor that piece of jewelry over the course of a lifetime or whatever it is that we have. This new thing that okay, so you've seen the little customized bags. Now this one holds a special treat. And this is a Zen wave frequencied. This is a charging disc. Now I thought this was the new color. Let me grab the new color. Give me a second.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It really is.
And it's very good to know that you need to wear the chain because it also has the frequency on it.
Well, and I was explaining that some other vendors out there, they do just sell the pendant without the chain. And the reason they're doing it, it's pretty expensive. The cost from my vendor is expensive to put the frequencies. The chain itself has a cost. And so really to keep it low, my profit margin is less on those items. Let me put it this way. But I really think it's important that people get the chain that's frequencied rather than just that little pendant that goes and hits us at the clavicle. We want the whole neck to have the exposure. Mm-hmm. This is more the current color. But what's fun about this is, number one, it's for me, I love seeing the little logo on there. I don't know if you can see that. So yes. It's with the Zen Wave logo. And what this is, this charging disc, all you have to do is take anything that you're drinking and put this on here for as little as 5 to 10 seconds, and the water is charged. Now, if you're sitting at home, and you're sitting in your favorite recliner, you can just leave this resting on there. And now your water is charged so that you're getting the frequency through your water as well. Yeah, it's really fun, and they're very affordable, $39.95. These make great gifts. So I had somebody come in and she wanted a birthday present. I was showing her the jewelry. I didn't realize, I thought she was buying it for herself. She was looking for a friend and she didn't want to spend, $95 for a ring. And I understand that. So I said, well, what about this? And this is, at the office, I sell it for $1 less, $38.95 to my clients that are having a session. So she said, yeah. She said, give me 2 of them. She's got 2 friends that she thought this would be a unique and fun present. I also can see I have some discounts available when people are buying in bulk. So, buying a pair of these with a set of champagne flutes for a wedding would be exquisite. Or just buying these, or buying a set of 4. I have all of these on the website because, what better way can you start off a couple rather than giving them the gift of wellness, because there are definite wellness benefits associated with this. So, and they're fun.
You also have like thermoses and
water bottles. I do.
Water bottles.
I don't have one sitting here next to me, but they are bamboo. Yeah, you could bring one up. They're bamboo. They have the Zen Wave logo etched in it. They are 18/8 stainless on the inside. They're, again, a hot, cold tumbler. And they have a little tiny sieve. And if you go up to water at the top, all the way, if you go to the top of the, there you go.
Up here? Wait, that says boho resonance, timeless tones.
No, it's not in the collections. Maybe go through, no. Can you look at the top? Can you go to
let me see if I can get up there.
There you go. And look at the hamburger menu there. Yep. And then go to frequency water. And then go down to the water bottle.
I hadn't seen the coasters, but
the coasters are brand new. I just added those about a week ago.
Okay. That explains it. So is there more? There's more than just this one though, right?
No, I only do one water bottle.
Oh, okay.
But you can scroll to see the other pictures and see how it functions. Like toward the end of it, we show with some images, there you go, kind of how it works.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it charges very, very quickly, just within seconds. And let me explain also a couple of the tests. When somebody buys a piece of jewelry, I send out printed instructions for the test so that they don't have to take my word for it. There is a very simple method of testing your strength with this. And I just put a video up on YouTube about this and then linked it to or I was going to link it to the website. And YouTube seems to think that we stole music, which we did not. We had the rights for it. So we're correcting that and we're going to do it again. But it's with a couple of people just showing how we muscle test with a piece of jewelry. But basically what one does, I'll just describe it, is if you can stand with your hands, with bent elbows like you're going to pray, and then tuck your fingers inward. Have another person stand in front of you and push down on your wrists. And do it, tell them not to resist. So they're not trying to pull back and fight you. We're just trying to find your normal strength. So they're going to push down lightly and we'll figure out where your normal set of your balance is. Then put the ring in your hand or on your or bracelet, whatever piece of jewelry it is. Now we repeat the process and the difference is undeniable. And I was describing earlier to Luann that sometimes when someone has a low center of gravity, it's not as easy to topple them because they may, if they're a little bit heavier on the bottom, sometimes they're just real solid by nature. But even folks like that internally can feel the difference when I'm testing with that stability. So they can sense the difference, even if it's not quite as dramatic as it is in the average person. Now, if we were to do the same thing with the water, the way that I like to test the water to show how dramatic it is literally we're setting out that coaster, putting a paper cup of water, taking it out of the either a water bottle so that you can see. I like to open up when fresh so that people know I haven't tampered with the water. Pour it in the cup, leave it there for just 5 seconds, and then I will take some of that water and I will drip it on the back of their hand or in the palm. And a lot of people make a big show of it and they'll, kind of wash with it for a minute. We do the same thing, and just that little bit of water will make them just as strong as a piece of jewelry. Now, the trick with that is that you do want to stay hydrated. So I would recommend buying the piece of jewelry first, possibly, and then getting the coaster or the water bottle because you want to make sure you have that frequency all the time. This is just going to top you off. But if you didn't have the piece of jewelry, if you allow yourself to become dehydrated, now you no longer have the benefit of that frequency in the body. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's-
Makes sense.
Oh, I love this. This is like so interesting.
Well, for me, it's just a lot of fun because I try to find things that I think will appeal to my people. And like, for example, this is one that I'm just sending off with the Hamsa. And I know that not everybody's going to go for the Hamsa, but I also know my clientele. And I know that that is just a fun piece that a lot of people that I serve will, like I have Tree of Life. Again, not everybody's going to go for the Tree of Life, but in this group. And then at the office, I have a beautiful piece of sacred geometry. I have the Flower of Life in a pendant. And
Yep.
again, a lot of people won't know what that is, but a lot of the people we talk to will and will enjoy
Yes.
having the sacred
Yes.
geometry around their neck.
I love the tree of life. That I have one with stones on it, but it would be nice. I think that would be something I would like.
Yeah, and I have so these are just an example of a lot of the rings that I have. So, I have all kinds of options available. And I do have a tree of life in here, and I'll show you what that is.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I also have, this is a little older style. It's tiny too. It's more of a closeout, but this was a little bigger ring. And I found that not as many people were going for the bigger ring. So I made it a little bit smaller. But yeah, so I'm always open for suggestions and looking for new items and trying to find high quality jewelry at an affordable price so that I can pass that on. And it's fun. Oh, one last thing. I do want to explain this if you don't mind. So I also have some pieces in vermeil. So that's Vermeil, which I've always been pronouncing vermeil, but I think it is vermeil. And what this is and how this differs, and I'll just use an example of this larger ring here. a lot of times when we're buying things that aren't 14 karat gold, they're either gold filled or they're gold plated. Now, the typical gold plate basically takes zero point 0.3 microns of gold and puts it over, it could be sterling silver, but it's zero point 0.3 microns. Now, gold filled, they'll put the gold over any base metal. So we're not even guaranteed of getting sterling. What I'm doing with the jewelry that I'm bringing in most cases, not all, and I do make a differentiation, is I'm putting 2.5 microns over the sterling silver. And so that's going to guarantee much longer wear than a standard gold-plated item. There are a few exceptions. I just recently am buying some huggy earrings for women that like those tiny little earrings. And by the time I was quoting the vermeil, the plating, that earring was going to be absolutely outrageous. So in that case, I'm going with a gold plate. But it's rare, and I make it very clear when we're looking at the difference. But that's another thing to know, that these are fine jewelry. So this plating is over sterling silver versus, a base metal of whatever it might be. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Getting a little on the esoteric side there, but good to know.
It's not on your website. Is there any other place that people can go? I mean, I know that you say that you also sell in your office. Do you go to any of the fairs or any of, the pop-up markets or anything else like that?
Um, I have been considering that. And
Okay.
what I've actually done recently, which is kind of interesting, is I've been dabbling with the idea of if someone has maybe a group of 10 friends that want to come over, I would be happy to bring something to them, because that seems to be where you get the most interest and the most um, viability. So what happened recently was, when I went to a quilting retreat, which this is like the perfect market for these are older women, they're not as physically stable. They asked me if I would bring, they'd heard about the jewelry. I'd showed them the last time I was there. They said, would you bring the jewelry? So I said, sure. So in about 3.5 hours, I sold a lot of jewelry to a lot of people. Well, one of them was going to quilt a quilt for me. So I was going to go back. I'm going all the way out to Texarkana, Arkansas. So I was going back to Texarkana, and she said, I found 4 people that really want you to bring your jewelry. Would you consider bringing it? And then 2 more called me. Well, by the time I was there, I sold almost $2,000 worth of jewelry to 8 people. It was crazy.
Wow.
They could see, oh my God, I want this. So some of them were ready to buy before I'd even shown the presentation. I said, do you all not want to see the presentation? Do you not want to see what this does? And a lot of them had one item in their hand, and they said, yeah, 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 we want to see. So then I started demonstrating on every person there. And then they went back and bought 1 or 2 more pieces. So instead of buying one thing, they were buying 2 and 3, because now they really understood what a difference it made. They could feel folks that were kind of swaying just as they were standing became more solid. So it's not a miracle cure. I'm not representing it as such, but it definitely does help with physical stability and grounding. So as far as that goes, yes, I would certainly be open to talking to people about that. Pop-ups, I haven't decided, to be frank, I haven't decided if standing outside of a brewery is the right venue for this yet, So I'm still trying to figure out, is that the right place to be? Will they have enough interest? Or where should I go where I can find folks that will have the interest in this? I'd considered some of the local shops, metaphysical shops. I haven't really reached out to anybody yet, but that kind of a thing.
That might be a good thing to do, but unfortunately, I think you're correct. It's word of mouth and people seeing what it does.
Yeah. And I think once we get the videos online, it'll be more effective when people can see what it's doing. There's still going to be the naysayers. They're not going to believe it. They're going to look at it and think you've tampered with the video somehow. And that's why I'm starting to really include the instructions so you can test it for yourself. Because without that, the person may not feel the difference. I had one woman in California who bought a couple of items from me, and we were talking on the phone. She had some interest in some more items, and I asked her, how did you feel? Did you do the test? She said, I didn't do the test. I could feel it. She said, I didn't need to do the test. So she could feel the energy. Now, I would say that's maybe 10% of the people I sell things to. So 90% of us can't feel it to that degree. Now, I will say that when I put my jewelry on, I honestly felt like I'd had a glass of wine for about 45 minutes, and then that went away. The way that this other woman described it, she felt it in even a more of an enhanced fashion. But for the other folks that can't feel it, I want some demonstrable way that they can see, oh, this really does make a difference. So I was still encouraging her, even though she could feel it, to see the difference because it's so profound. It can also help with flexibility. There are some flexibility tests you can do as well, like when you're able to twist in one direction, put on the ring or bracelet, and you can usually move a little bit further, or farther.
That's interesting. I would try that. I
Mhm.
just didn't have anybody here to try the test with me, and I said, I'm just going to put it on.
I would have too. And just the next time you're around somebody, you can just play with it a little bit and see what that
Okay,
does.
so here's what I'm going to do when I get my chain replaced. I'm going to do it without, I'm going to do it with this chain, and then I'm going to do it with the whole thing and
That would be interesting.
see what happens.
That'd be interesting. I mean, I still think you're going to get the benefits as long as that pendant is touching you. But it's my personal belief that it's going to be enhanced with more contact with the skin.
You say that is so funny because now, since I was wearing this other chain, I find myself pressing it against my skin more. Is that
Interesting.
psychological? Is
I
that
don't know because we didn't know about it till today.
no? I didn't.
So it may be an intuition thing that's going on there.
Yeah.
We'll see. And if anybody does decide they want to visit the site, there is a sign up for a newsletter, and it does help you save 10% off of any order. It's on the bottom of the website. There's also a jewelry quiz you can take to see what is your jewelry style. So we can figure out whether you prefer boho or timeless styles or
That's
even
fun.
metaphysical. Yeah. So there's a little quiz there. And so that's one of two ways that you can get 10% off. And as far as newsletter, I don't spam people. I'm not going to send a lot. I mean, I have a full-time business. This is my second business. So really there's not a lot of time there to be hitting up people with newsletters all the time.
Well, Kerrin, I appreciate you bringing your jewelry today, and I hope I did enough full screen so somebody could see it. I don't.
Wow.
What do you think, Matthew? Should I have her display?
Well, what I would do is take and put the website back up again so people can kind of see
Okay.
what it is. Let them know where the just sign up for the newsletter is, so on and so
Can you
forth.
get to the homepage, maybe?
Okay, let's see if I could do that.
Yeah.
It is frequency-jewelry.com. Is that correct?
Frequency-jewelry.com
Dash.
or
Yeah.
zenwavecreations.com is really, it's a redirect to frequency-jewelry.com.
Gotcha.
If you, no, don't click, go back to the homepage, please. And
Oh,
you're going to scroll down.
frequency-jewelry, and it's Zenwave.
There you go. Now just scroll down and there is a place, and I think you may have passed it.
Oh, of course.
Scroll back up. There you go. So that's where you can take the quiz. You take your jewelry personality quiz and get 10% off. And I think it's a kind of a fun little test. It's about 10 questions, so it's not going to take you all day.
Right, that's fun. I did not do that, so I probably should.
And the video just talks about the Zen wave, and hopefully we are going to put another video up that will show the actual demonstration of the
I love
jewelry.
that.
Yeah.
Well, Kerrin, is there some way that people can get a hold of you directly? With any questions or they
Well,
want more information?
yeah, if you they can call me through my work number. If they have questions about the jewelry, there's actually a number for the Zen Wave.
Okay.
And I hate to tell you, I don't have it memorized. It's an 888 number. So you can click on connect. If they have questions, they can also go through my business number, which is 972-215-7763. Now that is again for harmonic life, because I think we talked at the beginning that I am also an energy practitioner.
Mhm.
So I do a variety of different things, and that would be the number that you're reaching me there for that. So it's either one, though, will get to me.
Great.
An email will work as well.
And I thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you introducing us to something new.
Thank you. I appreciate the
And
opportunity. I really do.
Well, I know where I'm going after the broadcast. So
You what?
I'm going to be on my computer looking at all the products. So.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And then, and by the way, I think I've got about 85 or 90 pieces on the website, but I have about 150 in stock. So if you have any questions or looking for something a little different, just reach out.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. It's going to take me, takes quite a while to do all the photography and get those all uploaded. So I
yes,
just work on it as I can. I just add more and add more.
yes, I get that. I had to photograph all my products to put on my webpage, so I get it.
Yeah. I got to look at yours.
Any other questions, Mr. Matthew?
I don't have any more, but I'm sure that as soon as we hang up, I'll probably have like 10. So
Well, I appreciate you asking me the questions you did. That did bring up some interesting points. I wish I could accommodate you a bit more. I really wish I could.
And
I try to find out as much as I can where limitations are and things of that nature, because I know that if I'm thinking it, other people are
Other
thinking it
people are
too.
thinking
So
it too. I have had other people ask me questions on sending in their gold jewelry and so on, and it just makes me a little bit nervous.
sure, I get that.
Yeah. Thank you.
what is your email, Kerrin?
I think that the email is, I know, isn't that horrible? I think it's Kerrin at, let's see. No, I think it may be info@zenwavecreations.com.
info@zenwavecreations.com. Okay.
Or just go to the website and click the contact. That's probably going to be the easiest way.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Because I'm sorry, I've also got the other website, and I think that one is Kerrin@harmoniclife.com. By the way, that website has some jewelry on it too.
Okay.
Same jewelry, just a different way of showing it.
And Matthew, how can we get a hold of you?
Get a hold of me at matthew@matthewapierce.com, or you can go to the website, matthewapierce.com.
And
Because
Pierce is spelled, how is Pierce spelled?
Pierce. If you look down at the bottom of my screen, my email
there
address
you are.
is there, matthewapierce.com.
Thank you.
And Matthew does many things. He is a web designer, and he also designed a logo for me. He also does metaphysical. He has a doctorate in what, Matthew?
Physics.
Metaphysics. So, he does some coaching around the metaphysics and stuff. So he does lots of different things.
It's a Renaissance one.
Yeah.
Like that.
And today I am Deborah Colleen Rose. I'm Deborah Colleen Rose, and Deborah has 4 or 5 different things she does. She has investigative solutions. But if you will go to DeborahColleenRose.com, it'll tell you all about her. And me, I have Ancient Herbal Apothecary, and we have all organic, natural remedies for lots of different things. I'm just like Kerrin. It doesn't cure anything, but it helps you with whatever symptoms you have. And you're not putting any artificial preservatives or ingredients that haven't been tended to organically. So
I swear by her products. I mean, I use her products, so I swear by them.
I'm going to have to go check those out. That sounds exciting.
It's Luann, Luann, at ancientherbalapothecary.com. So I'm very glad we all got together today and learned something about frequencies and how this earth frequency gets us out with our feet in the ground without actually doing it so much.
No mosquitoes, mosquito free.
Oh, good. That's good. Okay, everybody, I'm going to end this wonderful conversation and meet with us next week. Matthew, is your friend coming?
I believe so. Yeah, I will double check, but we have guests, I think, for the rest of June. So
we do every Monday in June. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great evening. Bye now.
Bye.